Who here wants to have the money to buy a house someday? What about a car? What about putting your kid through college? All of these are important financial goals that some of us just aren't really prepared for. As daunting as they may seem, I can show you it's very easy to start right now. The thing is, we are not saving enough money, and this threatens our financial safety. First, let me explain what savings are. Savings refer to any amount of extra money you have left over at the end of the week or month you can put away for future use. You can make a savings account at any bank on campus like Chase, Busey, or PNC. Young adults our age, though, are saving less and less money. In a September 2017 report done by GoBankingRates.com, they found that millennials with $1,000 in the bank, the percent of millennials with $1,000 in the bank has decreased from 34% to 20%. And on top of that, the amount of millennials with $0 in the bank has increased from 33% to 41%. Now, this loss of savings is the equivalent to having $1,000 in the bank last year and only having $650 in the bank this year. The thing is, if you don't have enough savings, you might be forced to take on extra debt in the event of an emergency. Now, in a November 2018 report done by an investment firm called Vanguard, they explain that a financial emergency is when you have to draw on your savings account when an unexpected event happens. This could be repairing your car, getting in a medical emergency, or losing your job. To put this into perspective, let's say you're working in the city of Chicago and the cost of living is $1,600 a month. And that's taken from an Expatistan.com report done in November of 2018. Coupled with the fact that it takes millennials on average 5 months to find a job after being laid off, you would need $8,000 in the bank. And that comes from Kiplinger's personal finance report done in March 2018. If you don't have $8,000 in the bank, you might have to take on a risky loan or even move back in with your parents. Both of these are very scary events, so let's see how we can get started with savings and make sure this doesn't happen. The key is starting a budget. Now, a budget is predicting what you used to spend in previous months in order to plan for the future. It works by looking at what you've previously spent and helps by making sure you have a plan moving forward so you're not spending too much. Budgeting early on in life can help you get on track to a proper savings account and give you the confidence to know you can tackle any financial emergency. Having a budget is proven to reduce the amount of unnecessary purchases as well. In a September 2017 gender and behavior study done on South African college students, they found that students with any sort of budget were 33% more likely to save money when compared to kids with no budget at all. All that extra money saved can go towards a savings account. On top of that, budgeting can save a lot of stress as well. In a USA Today June 2018 article, they saw that the number one concern for Americans was money. You can relieve this source of stress by having a budget, as you'll sleep very soundly at night knowing you'll be okay in the event of a financial emergency. Now, this all sounds very hard. Saving $8,000, that's really tough, but it takes time, and I can go over some of the obstacles that you might face while you're getting started. So first, you might be thinking, I don't have a job. How can I do this? Well, there are plenty of on-campus jobs sponsored by the university. In fact, in a November 2018 job opening from the University of Illinois library, they say you can set your own schedule hours and make $8.25 an hour. That means you would only have to work 4 hours a week to make $50 a month. That amount of savings is incredible. Another obstacle could be that some of you think it might be too expensive to start saving money. Well, it's expensive, but it gets a lot cheaper when you look where all your money is going. So for example, in our October 2018 USDA meal plan report, they estimate that the average cost per week for eating as a 19 to 22-year-old is $55 a week, and that includes at least eating out 5 times. Coupled with the fact that same report says it's $3 to $4 per every cup of coffee that you drink. Now, when we also factor in the cost for cover at each bar in Illinois being $5, you could see yourself spending $80 to $100 a week. That's $400 a month almost. Let's look at some of the alternatives here. If you live in the dorms, try using all of your meal credits before you eat out. As for coffee, fill up a thermos in the dining hall, and that way you'll never have to drink at a coffee shop again. If you don't live in the dorms, try buying some fresh ingredients from County Market or some prepackaged meals, and that way you can save a lot of money there as well. As for coffee outside of the dorms, you can buy a Mr. Coffee from Walmart for $12, split it with your roommates, and end up paying $1 or $2 per cup of coffee in the future. As for cover, show up to the bars a lot earlier. That way you won't have to pay or just spend a night in with your friends. All of these savings average out to $12 a week and around $600 a year. Now, Let's look at what it might look like if you continue saving at this rate after college with increases after your first job and promotion. So imagine this, you've stayed on track and you've started saving $100 more after your first job and even $100 more after your first promotion. At 23 years old, you'd have $6,000 saved up. And as you can see here, at 27 years old, you have $17,000 saved up. At 23, with just a portion of those savings, you could buy a used car. You could pay down a large amount of your debt, or even make a down payment on a small house outside of the city of Chicago. At 27 years old, with only 1/3 of your savings, you could lease a new car for a few months. You could lease a new car for a few years, make a bigger payment on your student loans, or make a down payment on a nice house. You could even buy an engagement ring for your significant other. But how can you actually make this happen? You can start saving right now. Go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download either Mint or You Need a Budget app. Both these apps can help you start saving, tracking every single expense you have, and immediately increase your savings with all the extra money you have left over. If you're not a fan of apps, you can go on the computer version of the You Need a Budget app and use your computer to input the expenses. For all you old school people out there, think about buying a notebook and writing down all your expenses at the end of each day. On top of that, at the end of the day, when you're going for that burrito, you're going for that Starbucks coffee, think about it. Do I really need this? And if you really don't, that's awesome, because every dollar you don't spend today is guaranteed financial security in the future.